So welcome to this morning's webinar. My name's Stephanie and I'll be taking you through today's content. So today we're going back to basics and we're going right back to looking at just the basics of reporting 101. So just the usual housekeeping before we get started. So the duration of this webinar will be approximately 30 minutes. We'll see how we go. And then obviously your speakers need to be turned on to be able to hear me. My microphone is the only mic that's on and everyone else has been automatically muted. I wanted to keep today's webinar relatively interactive, so if you've got any questions throughout, please feel free to use the chat box. I'll also be taking questions at the end. So before we get into it, I wanted to get a bit of a feel from everyone about how you feel about reports. So do you sort of categorize yourself as really basics with reports? You're not quite sure where to look for information? Are you slightly more advanced, or do you tend to rely on the same old reports day in and day out? So we've got a few newbies in here today, and it looks like we've got a few who are very basic with their reports, which is certainly understandable. The reporting in shortcuts can be quite overwhelming once you jump into that reporting screen. There are quite a lot of reports available, which is fantastic, but it's often difficult if you're wanting to look for something new, where to actually get started. We've had Curtis write that he actually uses the same old report. So even though we're doing basics today, hopefully I'll introduce you to some new reports or some areas on existing reports that you may not have been looking at. So if everyone had to pick just one report that they use the most, what would that report be? Excellent. So it looks like everyone's writing the same thing, which is good because that's my next slide. So the trading summary is a pretty common theme here. So the trading summary is probably our most popular report that I tend to find most of the stores are using on a pretty regular basis. So to get to your trading summary, it's under the tools menu, reports, the end of day category, and then just the trading summary. So this report is very versatile. Obviously, this is a report that needs to be run for historic periods. So we actually suggest for this particular report that you're running this on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis. And then obviously this is probably something you'll be running at the end of financial year as well. What I've actually done is grab some areas of the trading summary that you may not be particularly familiar with. What I've tended to find is that a lot of businesses focus on that top area of the trading summary, which is more of your summary of trade that includes all your payments received and your tax information. So these little 3 snippets of the trading summary that I've pulled are areas that may indicate issues or areas you're performing well that can assist with your marketing. So the first one at the top left here is looking at your ticket averages. So whenever you see ticket, think of sales transactions. So how many sales transactions were there for this period? So for example, the number on this is 102, and then you get your average of each ticket. So the average sale transaction that goes through your point of sale. As well as that, it's going to break it down to, out of those tickets, how many included services and what was the average. Over all the tickets, what was then the average spend on services as well as products. So that can be a really good way to indicate how you're going with your retail sales, is if that's something in particular that you're striving for in your business. To the right of that, we've got a bit of a summary of your clients. So up the top of here, it's going to show you for the period that you've run this report for, how many walk-in clients did you have? How many new clients did you have? And how many returning clients did you have? You'll often notice that the number of clients doesn't exactly match the visits. So for example, here we've got that there was 86 returning clients and 90 visits. What that's indicating is that you've had a few of those clients who have obviously visited more than once, which is fantastic. It'll give you the overall percentages. So 88% of the clients for this period were returning, and then you'll get the value of what those clients have spent. So this is where you kind of want to put your analysis hat on and have a little bit of a look at what's actually going on here. So we can see that there was 9% of clients that were new, but they contributed to 12% of overall sales. And then underneath, we can see just some more basic demographics of your clients. How many were male, female, marked as children, or unspecified. The unspecified just indicates that they weren't given a gender and weren't marked as a child. Okay, and then down the bottom here. So I'm hoping everyone's kind of been looking down the bottom of their trading summary to get a bit of an idea of what's going on with their employees. So we're going to be looking at employee performance specific reports a little later, but this report, if you're running it on a daily basis or a weekly basis, it's kind of nice to pick up on areas where employees may need to improve, as well as looking at the employees who are performing above and beyond. So this report's going to list all the names of your employees, the number, the dollar of products they've sold, dollar of services they've sold, sundry and gift cards, and the total overall. Then the total percent of sales that belong to them. So we've got that Elise up the top here, 21.16% of sales were from her for the business. And then their average ticket. So what I think is a really good idea when you're looking at the average tickets here is to look at the average for the business. So up the top here, we know the average ticket is $147.58. You can then apply that down the bottom here and have a little bit of a look at your employees and who's performing above the average. So Elise is $159, which is well above the average. We've obviously just got the number of tickets that they've processed, the amount of hours that they've worked, and then my favorite column at the end here, which looks at your service sales per hour. So this is something to sort of start looking, you're more thinking productivity at this point. So you've got an employee working 37 hours, they're bringing in $2,968 in services, therefore it's around $80 an hour. What's kind of nice about this report is you'll see the employees that may not necessarily be working as many hours. So we'll see Catherine Green here is only working 20 hours as opposed to most of the other employees who are in the 30s or high 30s. However, her average service sales per hour is $97.46. So it's a really nice way to compare your employees on a scale looking at the time they're actually in the store. So any questions on the trading summary before we move on? Nope, it looks like we're all good. Excellent. So now that we've had a bit of a look historically at our summary of sales, let's have a look at what we've got happening in the future. So this report is going to be looking at forecasting what you've got upcoming for the business. So we're going to be measuring our future appointments. So to get to this particular report, you'll be going to the Tools menu, Reports, the Appointments category, and Value of Future Appointments. Has anyone in the group actually used this report before? Yes? No? We actually suggest this report to be run weekly and monthly. So you might want to run this report for the upcoming week and obviously the upcoming month to get a bit of an idea of, are you going to be busy next month? Which employees have booked themselves more than others? To give you a bit of a forecast for what's going to happen. So this is what this report looks like. So it'll give you the total value of what you've got booked in. Now, with the value of future appointment report, this report is just giving you an estimate of the appointments that are booked in. So obviously the estimate is going to be based on the price of the services. Obviously things will change when it comes to the actual time that you check out the clients. They may receive a discount because of a promotion. They may also change their service to a higher or lower cost service. So at this stage, we're purely just looking at an estimate based upon what clients are booked in for. So it'll give you the total estimate. It'll give you the names of all the employees and the percentage of appointments that are booked with those particular employees and the total value booked with those employees. So if we know for next week that Jackie's going to be quiet, this may sort of start to get us thinking about doing a marketing campaign around services with Jackie. Now, this is something which is quite interesting. So see how I've got this marked in red here on Jackie? What a lot of people don't know is with the shortcuts reports, a lot of the reports, there's more to them than just the first page. You can actually drill down into the report a little bit further. So if you were to double click on Jackie and then select on the amount, what you'll notice is over at the right here, we've got this summary for Jackie. So it's showing where that $395 worth of estimate has come from. So it'll give us the dates, the services, the clients, and the value that's actually booked in. Okay, so that's looking at forecasting for the future. So we've done historical, we've done the future. Let's just have a look at what our top selling items are. So let's start off with top selling products. So the top selling product report is going to be a summary of the top selling products. It's going to show them in descending order based on the amount. It's going to be taking into account refunds also. So this report's going to be located under tools, reports, the stock category, and then top selling products. This report can be run for any past period. I'd probably suggest the last month. This is actually quite a cool report to run just for a whole year as well, if you wanted to run this for the whole of last year. So this is what the report looks like. So it's going to give you a nice tidy report, which is going to itemize from the largest profit. So items are only going to show on this report, obviously, if they've been sold or refunded. It's going to show you the names of the products, what companies they belong to, the total value of the sale, and then the profit. So it's going to compare your buy and your sell price, and then it's going to give you that profit percentage there. And then obviously you're going to get your overalls down the bottom. Now, if there was a refund during the period, it will still put a quantity there, but obviously your profit's going to be at a negative. So obviously products that are of a high percentage in profit are a win-win for your business, because if you've got those further up the list, it means that your top selling products are your products with the highest profit margin. And why stop at products? Let's have a look at our top selling services. So this one's very similar to Locate. So it's under tools, reports, services, and then top selling services. So again, this report can be run for any past period. We'd suggest last month. Similar sort of layout, but slightly different information. So this is going to be looking at the services, the top selling services based on their value. So it'll give us the quantity. So I've had 15 medium blow dries sold during this period. The total value was $722. And then it's going to give you the average charge for the service. This can be a really great report to be running for the previous month, because say, for example, I know that that blow dry medium, the price of that service is actually $60. If I notice that the average charge for that service for the period is significantly lower, that may indicate a lot of discounting happening. Okay, so any questions surrounding service and product sales? Nope, we're all good to go. Excellent. Okay, let's move on to your employees now. Now, does anybody use the employee performance summary? Yes, we've got a few. I'm actually not looking at the original employee performance summary today, but I did want to mention it. That particular report is fantastic to be run on a weekly basis. What we're going to be looking at today, which is a little bit different and slightly overwhelming, so bear with me, it's the employee performance summary, the extended version of this. So to locate this report, it's tools, reports, employee, and then employee performance extended. So this can be run for any period. I probably wouldn't be running this on a weekly basis due to the overwhelming amount of information you receive on this report. It's probably something you want to run for last month. Okay, so here's the report. So I've just taken a snippet of this report so it doesn't look quite so full on. I've just gotten the first two columns. So with this report, each employee gets their own column. The trick with this report is to have a look at it. You may want to print it the first time and just highlight the areas that are relevant for your business. So I've kind of pinpointed a few things that I believe are quite important. So productivity is something that's really unique to this report. So we'll see here on the second line, we've got productivity for Chris and Jackie. So what this means is Chris was 72.56% productive. So out of the 158.5 hours that he was scheduled to work, 72.56% of those were booked. They weren't empty. So if we compare that to Jackie, Jackie's working more hours, but she's only under 40% productive. So that's a really nice figure to look at and line up across all of your employees to see, regardless of hours, who's been the most productive with the time they have at the store. All right, average client spends. This is quite cool. It's almost taking that information that we saw from the trading summary and breaking it down to an employee level. So what you'll notice throughout this report over here, I apologize, it's quite small, there's lots of figures in here that refer to tickets. So it's starting to take that information from the trading summary and then look at, okay, what was the retail only average ticket? And we know for Jackie, that was $48.41. So this may be something that you want to focus on a new area each month of this report to help boost the employee's performance. So there's lots of information about tickets on here. I had a question before today's session surrounding retail tickets. Now, tracking retail only clients can generally be a little bit tricky through reports. This report actually outlines it quite well. It'll show you the number of retail only clients. So we can see that there were 4 retail only clients that Jackie served. So clients who came into the store and the only things that were in their transaction were retail items. It'll obviously show you the retail only dollars spent. It'll show you the average. And it's going to show you the units per ticket on average. So you might have a great employee who does lots of retail only clients, and then the units per ticket, they might be above 1. They might be doing 2 or more units per retail only client. So I hope that answers the question. I believe it was John who asked that one. There's obviously a lot of more information on this report. There's also your rebooking percentage if you'd prefer to compare it on this report instead of the traditional rebooking report. We've also got the employee service to retail conversion area here, looking at the percentage of clients who are converted from service and upsold to retail. So I hope you all enjoy this report and start using it a little bit more, because it is a fantastic report despite its overwhelming appearance. Any questions on this report? No, we're all good to go. Excellent. All right, so let's move on. This is actually a personal favourite of mine. I almost didn't include this in today's presentation, but couldn't help myself. This is the client retention report. So to locate this particular report, it's under the tools menu, reports, the employee category, and client retention. It's actually called client retention 90 days in brackets. Now you'll see by my description that it sounds a bit unusual. It says that this report needs to be run for a date range that ends 90 days prior to today. That may sound a little bit confusing. So let me show you the report. This is a fantastic report to get a really good understanding of your client retention in the business. However, there is a trick to it, and that is the date range. So if we have a little bit of a look at the one that I've got here as an example, basically what I'm telling it is that from the 1st of March to the end of April, I'm wanting to look at all the clients who came in for that period and then who hasn't returned within 90 days. All right, so is that starting to click for everyone, I hope? So the big thing with this report to wrap your head around is do not try and put in a recent date range for this report. Say, for example, I wanted to look at clients who've come in from the 1st until the 25th of August, which is today. It's going to go, okay, clients who've come in from the 1st to the 25th who haven't returned. Obviously, all of the clients I've seen today and yesterday and last week, I wouldn't have expected them to return by now, so it's going to show them as lost. So it is really important to backtrack your date ranges on this report. I hope that's starting to make sense for everyone. So let's have a look at the information that's on here. So it's going to give you the employee names, the number of unique clients that they've seen, how many of those clients have returned to the same employee. So how many of Catherine's 206 clients returned to see Catherine? 103. How many of those 206 came back to see another employee? 44. So 147 retained overall. And then how many of those clients were lost? 59. What's unique about this report is when you actually go to run the report, you can actually choose under the miscellaneous options several different things. The miscellaneous for a lot of the reports includes where you can run the report inclusive or exclusive of GST. What's nice about this one is that you can run the report for new clients only, which is really valuable. So you might want to go, how many new clients came in March? Did they return? Because an employee's retention rate of just general clients versus new clients could be completely different. So I would really encourage you to run this report for new clients only. You can actually change the retention period. By default, it's set to 90 days, as that's generally when you'd expect your clients to have returned by. However, maybe if you were a tanning salon that only did tanning, you'd probably expect your clients to return a little bit more regularly. In the miscellaneous options before you run this report, you can actually choose to change that retention period to something else. It doesn't have to be 90 days. But for most of us, 90 days is going to fit our purpose. So this is going to give us obviously all the percentages. So it'll give us just overall for the business, the percentage of clients that were lost. Another important thing to point out that is worth considering with this report, which I know a lot of you will probably agree with, particularly just in hair and beauty, spa as well, clinic, you tend to find your clients get particularly attached to an employee, which is just natural. They always want the same employee to wax them, or they always want the same employee to cut their hair. You'll often see clients, if an employee goes on holidays, they will almost just go MIA until that employee returns. It's obviously something you need to be really careful of in your business, because you don't want clients becoming too reliant on a particular employee. So if you noticed in here that the retention rate for all of your employees was around maybe 40% of clients returning to see them, however, one employee was 95%, that's obviously going to raise a few red flags to you, because if 95% of the clients only want to see that employee, if that employee was to no longer exist, it's obviously there's a chance that those clients may not exist as well. So if you notice that happening in here, you may start thinking about different marketing options. You may wish to upsell services with another employee. So if I was coming in to see my regular stylist, I might be upsold a treatment with one of the other employees there, so that I start to build a relationship with the other employees in the salon. I hope everyone kind of feels where I'm going with that. I know it's a little bit of a controversial topic. Any questions on the retention report? Nope, we're all good. Excellent. All right, let's move on. So this next colourful slide is talking about Scorecard. So I hope all of you who have the Shortcut Smart system go into Scorecard. So this is something you should be going into on a monthly basis. It's a really visually pleasing and easy way to have a look at what's going on and pick up trends in the business. So you really want to familiarise yourself with your current results in here at least once a month. So from these results, you're going to be able to make notes of areas that have declined, need a bit of improvement, as well as obviously areas that you have drastically improved on. So I've just done one screenshot of this because I thought that would be enough for everyone. So I've just in the middle here, you'll see this graph. So in Scorecard, if you're not particularly familiar with it, all of these dot points down here are all broken down into lots and lots of graphs. So the graphs are easy for you to see. The orange bars indicate this year's figures, and then the yellow bar indicates last year's figures. So it's a really nice way to see how you're going month on month and then year on year. So it'll only ever show a completed month. So obviously August information is going to be going up shortly. So I'd probably encourage you all to jump onto Scorecard late next week and see how you're going. Any questions on Scorecard? I didn't want to spend too much time on this one. We're all good? Excellent. If you're not aware with how to locate Scorecard, it's through this URL up here in the green. So console.shortcutsoftware.com, and you just select on the Scorecard tile. It's really user friendly, and I would just encourage you to get in there and start wrapping your head around all the different figures that are being displayed. Okay, so now that we've looked at all of these key reports, how exactly are these reports going to help us with our marketing? So let me summarize all this information here. So they should give you indications of where to target email campaigns as well as SMS campaigns to increase your employee and overall business performance. So you might be thinking of creating offers for clients towards specific employees where their productivity may not be as high, or they may not have as high of a retention rate. You may want to create campaigns targeting where services aren't converting to retail, so you're not getting as many upsells. You might want to do an offer. I personally think bundling offers are a really great way to encourage clients to try new things. So what you might want to do, which is quite clever, is look at your top selling reports, and you might want to bundle your top selling service with your lowest selling product or service. You may also want to go 2 for 1 on some of your lower selling retail items. You might just create upselling campaigns targeting clients with existing appointments, as well as just focusing on offering products where profits are high. So creating promotions surrounding the actual profit margin on your products. Obviously, you can create SMS campaigns, which I know a few of you from looking at your names do this quite regularly. So we've got an example here of an SMS campaign at the right that is looking at last minute availability. So offering a discount on days where you know you're going to be quieter from looking at your forecast. And then obviously using Scorecard to identify your business trends. So you really want to identify quieter periods and ahead of time create those targeted campaigns to sort of counteract those periods of time where you know it's going to be particularly quiet. I'll be talking about upcoming webinars shortly as well, and we do have some holiday webinars coming up for obviously that traditionally quieter period during January, February next year. And then obviously clients, I think it's really important to have an understanding of your clients. So what is the activity? So what have you got going on with new clients versus your existing clients? And then obviously create your set and forget campaigns. For those of you who don't have set and forget marketing, I'd encourage you to look this up on the website. You can also contact me for more details. In set and forget marketing, you can set up an ongoing campaign to stay in consistent contact with your clients. So have a campaign go out the day after they're brand new and have their first visit, as well as maybe a campaign to remind them after 6 weeks that they're due for an appointment, or after 6 months, tell them that you miss them and encourage them to come back with some sort of promotional offer. So I hope that's kind of started to get your creative juices flowing with ideas of how to actually use these reports to assist with your marketing. Okay, so quick summary of what we've gone through today. So you should now be able to utilize these reports and understand the ideal date ranges to run these reports, the key points you're actually going to be looking for in these reports and understanding what they're actually telling you, and then how to use these reports to improve your marketing by creating a more targeted campaign that is suited towards what's needed by the business. Okay, so I'm opening up for some questions. I can see some of you are already typing. So based on today's content, reporting in general, please feel free to just pop some questions in the question box. While you're all writing your questions, I thought I would share with you. I was actually reading an article this morning on why reports are actually important to your business. And in that article, they were talking about how reading and understanding your reports is actually more important or just as important as checking your emails. So I thought that was a really interesting statement. So as a business owner or a manager or just an employee, depending on the business, obviously, I think it's really important for you to be consistently asking yourself questions. So do you know how many transactions were made last week? And do you know what report to go to find that out? Do you have information on your new clients versus your current clients? How well do you know your overall business and how is it tracking year to date? And just in general, how does this year's sales compare to last year? I think there's some really good questions that you should constantly be asking yourself on a regular basis to be really in tune with what's going on and therefore targeting your market in an effective direction. Okay, so we've had a question from Carl. He's asking, how easy is it to email clients with offers? Can this be done through shortcuts? There's actually several different ways you can do this. I would suggest using the set and forget marketing. That would be the easiest way to target your clients in a really beautifully presented email campaign. So with the set and forget marketing, you can create an ongoing campaign where you set it up once and it will just continue to send to your clients. Even something as simple as a birthday campaign can be really effective for your clients. So I'd suggest the set and forget marketing if you're not familiar with that, Carl. Any other questions surrounding reports? All right, while we're waiting on those, I thought I'd share with you just the current business development offer that ends at the end of August. So since we're talking about reporting and marketing, I thought this would be a really relevant offer for the moment. So what they're offering is to redesign your email campaigns for you. So for $150, you get a full suite of custom design set and forget templates. And they actually throw in 2 hours of training with this offer as well. So if you notice that your email campaigns that you've been previously sending are looking a little bit tired and could do with a bit of a facelift, this is a great offer if you'd like to take it up. They're going to obviously customize your email templates to match your business. So if you have recently updated your website or your branding, this would be a great offer, as well as the fact that you get that 2 hours of training so that an educator one-on-one can take you through how to edit your new templates and then obviously replace your existing campaigns with these new designs. So that offer ends the 31st of August. So if you're interested in that offer, the number for business development is 1300 667 374, and I believe it's option 2. So just some more info on the next 2 webinars for this year. So in September, we've got the Holiday Marketing Masterclass webinar, which I believe a lot of you will be really interested in, and that should be a great webinar to get us all ready to go for the holidays. It's really good to get marketing campaigns set up early for the holiday season. As a lot of you know, it can get a little bit crazy, and sometimes trying to put together a last-minute campaign can be really stressful. So if you can get that stuff prepared in advance, it just alleviates a bit of pressure off you. And then in October, we're looking at using shortcuts to maximize your holiday sales. So what types of promotions work well over the holiday season? To watch webinars, the recordings are all posted on our webinar library, and to register for the upcoming webinars, just go to shortcuts.com.au/webinars. If you'd like any more information on today's webinar, you can contact us via email or phone. Our Facebook page is also listed there. So it doesn't look like we've got any more questions, so I might let you guys get back to your busy day. I hope you've really enjoyed today's webinar on reports, and I hope everyone starts to use their reports and feel a lot more comfortable with where information is located. Have a great day, guys.